Hi everyone, today I'm going to draw a picture of my cat Pooj using dots. I painted her earlier this year, and since she's an incredible model and I take more photos of her than anything else, I had some great stuff to choose from. I'm going to start off with a technique I've used before. You can buy pads of toned paper, of course, but I like to make my own. I've painted an entire 9x12 sheet of watercolor paper with some warm and neutral colors, and I'll let that dry completely. It'll flatten out as it dries. The paper is on a block, so it's attached on all sides. If you want to try this and only have loose sheets of paper, you'll need to tape the paper to a board all the way around to prevent warping. Now I'll start with the eye, and as I said, I'm drawing with dots using a black gel pen. To create dark areas, I'll put dots close together and have them overlap, and to create areas that are less dark, I'll leave a little space between the dots. The color of the paper becomes a sort of mid-tone, and later I'll use a white pen for the highlights. And that's really all there is to this. That and a lot of patience. This drawing took me something like 6 hours to complete, which is about twice as long as a painting would have taken me. To create a video that's a manageable length and not super boring to watch, I had to speed things up. What you're seeing here has been sped up 40 to 60 times. So a second of dotting here was a solid minute of dotting in real life. This dotting technique is called stippling, and I learned how to do it when I was 14 in art class. My teacher, Mrs. Eisnagel, had us make a pencil outline of whatever it was we wanted to draw, and we had drawing pens with sharp little nibs that we dipped into little cups of India ink, and then we dotted away for days and days. I drew a close-up of a frog, and another time I drew a portrait of Picasso. 10 years later, when I became a high school art teacher myself, I had my students create similar drawings with dots, except we used ink pens from Uniball and Precise that weren't as messy as dipping into little cups of ink, and the kids often took their drawings home with them to work on in their spare time. The thing about dots is this. You are drawing so slowly, it's actually kind of hard to screw up, and the results can be so beautiful that my students sort of put up with the tedious and often boring technique. And yet it's weirdly relaxing and also sort of addictive. This way of working, which my students referred to as simply the dots, became my most loved and feared art project, and their dot drawings won prizes at art shows all the time. As years passed and my first students' younger brothers and sisters started taking art, they all seemed to know about this project before I presented it to them. They had watched their brothers and sisters dotting at home, or they'd seen these pictures hanging up in the hallway at school, and they wanted to try it themselves. So we've hit the halfway point in the drawing, and as you can see, I've spent a lot of time on Pooj's fur. She has a light blue-gray tabby pattern that I tried to establish early on. So I located all the darkest parts and dotted them first. I'm working from a black and white photo of Pooj sitting in a basket and looking out the window, the same one I painted my cat Bun in years ago. Bun died about 4 years ago, and Pooj has become my new kitty muse. I've loved watching her grow from kitten to cat over the past year. She's very smart and so shy around strangers that I feel privileged to be one of the 2 humans she loves and trusts. Now, I hope you won't mind if I turn the paper from time to time here as I work on the rest of the drawing. Sometimes it's just easier to dot from different angles. Here's the speed I'm working at. Dot, 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 dot. And my hand is like a little hammer. I'm not hitting the paper hard at all, but the repetitive motion can become uncomfortable. I took breaks every 20 minutes or so, and as the tension in my fingers and wrists built up, I had to remind myself to stop holding the pen so tightly. I've added a little plant on the right side and wall panels behind her. I can't wait to start doing the white dots. The pens are by Sakura, and they come in a 3-pack with different sized tips. I ended up using the biggest one for this. The left side of her face is not defined at all yet, but that will change with the white. Going back to my memories of being a teacher, Lots of times viewers tell me that they wish they would have had me as an art teacher, and beginning this fall I plan to make that happen. I'm considering offering a series of affordable courses for beginners on Udemy or possibly Teachable. Basically, I want to teach you everything I taught my beginning students when I was a high school art teacher. I'm used to dealing with teenagers, but anyone can do these projects. I would especially love to reach beginners who don't have art classes available at their school. Let me be your art teacher. I plan to focus on basic drawing skills first and branch out into other media. I started teaching 25 years ago this month, and I think it will be a fun way to mark that anniversary. I plan to keep making YouTube videos, of course, and I will keep you updated here about this new series of videos. Please let me know if this is something you'd be interested in trying with me, or let me know if you're a teacher who has offered online courses before and have any tips for me. Here's my finished drawing of Pooj. Thanks a lot for watching.